Hello everyone. Welcome to the fifth session of Power BI. Let me share my screen and start the session. So, just a brief walkthrough to what we are going to learn today. So, as per the today's syllabus, we'll be learning how to edit visual interactions, conditional formatting, the concepts of drill up, drill down, and as well as drill through, how to export data, and final topic will how to publish a Power BI report from desktop to cloud. So starting with the first topic, that is editing visual interactions. This is the report that we are creating till last session. So now what is visual interaction? These all components of Power BI, whatever we create, these all are known as a visual, and they interact with each other. As you know, whenever suppose I'm selecting on this particular field, the value changes here as well. So this way they are interacting, or when I'm selecting this one, it value changes here, or when I'm selecting a country in the drop down here, everything else on this pages changes according to my selection. So this way the visuals are interacting, and by default what happens in Power BI, whenever we are creating visuals that are related to each other, either from the same query or they have a relationship with each other, there's an interaction between the visuals. But we can edit that. Sometimes our requirement is, okay, I will change the country filter here, my summary doesn't change, only this table changes, or this table doesn't change, this changes, and so on. So we may have this requirement in business day to day, and it's a very common requirement. So how do we edit that? So suppose we go on this page 2 of the report. Here we have a slicer for country, a revenue and target. This gauge is there, a chart, and as well as a table. Now, when I'm selecting France, for example, you see everything changes, but I don't want this. So what I can do is selecting on the visual, which is the source. This is the source visual, that is the slicer, and now I want to edit the interaction, how these components on the page react. So I will select this and go to format and edit interactions. Just select this one. So now you notice a change, that these small icons come up on the top of the pages, every visual. So right now this is for filter and this is none. So everywhere the filter part is selected, which means whatever happens in this will filter these three visuals. Suppose I select the none for this one. Now this particular visual will have no effect on this particular God chart. So if you want to test, suppose I'm selecting Germany, the value remains same. I change it to France and Germany, then also the value remains same. So now there is no interaction between these two. If I want to go back to filter, just click on the filter icon. Now it will start filtering. And similarly, we can also control the interaction between the table and the charts and so on. Right now, what is happening? If I'm selecting France here, this particular visual is getting filtered from France itself. Now, since this is a chart, you see three icons on the top. One is filter, second is highlight, and third is none. We don't have the highlight option for gauge, but for chart we do have, and even for table we don't have. So depending on the type of visual, again this option changes. Now what happens in three of them? Right now what is happening, filter is enabled. So when I'm selecting Canada, the chart gets filtered for Canada. If I change the interaction to highlight, then what happens, this particular portion gets highlighted, but others are also available in the chart. A dull view is there, it basically puts this one in spotlight. And if I change the interaction to none, then there's no impact. You can select any of them. So depending on our requirement, we can just change this filter type, the interaction, and then after we are done, just right now see this part is enabled. We can, after we have set all the visual interaction, we can just click on this and then it will interact as we have saved. So this is how we control the interaction between multiple visuals. You just have to select the source one, go to format, visual, edit interaction, enable this section. After that, you see this icons on the top, you set it accordingly. And then once you are set Just click on it so that these icons do not appear anymore. I hope we are clear with this first topic. Next one is the conditional formatting. Now, what is conditional formatting? As the name suggests, it is formatting of any visual on the basis of a condition. Right now, suppose this is a table. Here we have various measures against country. What we earlier saw was just formatting. For example, I'll repeat that once again. So selecting this table, I go to this format pane. Here there's field formatting as well as conditional formatting. What happens in field formatting? It's without a condition. Suppose there's a column called revenue by units. I want to put the background color of this particular column to something else. So now it is formatting all of the values in this column to that particular background color. This can be one requirement. I want these different columns by different colors, or I just want to highlight a particular column. Then I go to this particular section of field formatting and I change the font background color and so on. Suppose this is not my requirement. My requirement, and it's a very common business requirement if you are dealing with day-to-day projects and all, you will know there are many cases where users want some particular values to be highlighted. For example, it can be from lowest value to highest value in a diverging way, or it can be suppose my revenue by units, for example, is greater than 400, highlight in a different color, less than 400, highlight in a different color, and so on. And that can also be for font, background, and different criteria. So I select this table, go to conditional formatting. Now, conditional formatting of which field? I want to conditional format the revenue by units. So select this particular column here. Now, what do I want to format? This time I want to format the font color and not the background color. Just enable this portion and then it will open a window here. This is saying, okay, font color of revenue by units has to be changed on the basis of this field. Sometimes we want to format this particular field, but the condition that is there may be a different field. That also can be chosen. By default, Power BI will have this particular field chosen here. We are choosing this field and we are saying, okay, I'll show you different option. One is lowest to highest. Lowest is in red, highest is green. Okay, then you see what happens. From lowest to highest, it has just given a different shade starting from the dark red to green and different shade for 400 and 392. I don't like this one, then I can go and edit it further. Suppose I say diverging value, where a middle value is highlighted in yellow. So it will change the tone accordingly. If I want to define a middle value on my convenience, suppose I say middle value is 400. I can even define the lowest and highest value also using a number range. Then 400 becomes a yellow font. I don't want this minimum range and all. I just want a rule that is set up. So instead of color scale, go to rules. Now say greater than or equal to 400, and this is not a percentage value, just a number value, and is less than maximum. Then it should be a green color. Otherwise, it will be a red color. New rule is greater than equal to minimum and is less than 400. Then it will be a red color. So then red and green. The same thing could have been applied to background also, or you want a different background. For example, for the cases you are highlighting the red font color, you want a background to be yellow or blue or something, and for green you want something else. So font can be there. In addition, you can apply a background color also conditionally. So it doesn't mean only you can apply for one of the cases. Data bar is something, depending on the value, a bar appears in the column. Very less practical use I have seen of this feature, but yes, it is provided. For example, if you see 452 is the highest value, it has the highest, the longest length of the bar. If I just expand this a bit, the length of the bar depends on the value. So this is how it is. The smaller the bar size is, the smallest the value, and so on. This color can also be customized further if you go to advanced control. Positive bar, negative bar. I want to change the color to maybe a bit lighter shade so that I can see the number also. So you see, just to give a relative idea of the values. And then there is another feature which is for tables, which is known as icons. Like this is by default what Power BI has put itself, but this can be customized. Suppose again we'll follow the same rule, that is greater than 400, I need a green arrow mark number, and is less than maximum value, again a number. I don't need any other formatting, so I can just delete these rules. Then I'll say I need a green up arrow. Where do you need the icon, on the left or right hand? I need on the right hand. If you need just the icon, not the numbers, then that option is also there. So now you see, only for these values I have green color icon, yellow mark. So there are multiple icon options also provided. Depending on what is needed, you can select from the list. This way we can conditionally format the data. It's not only a table can be formatted, we can format the cards and other visuals as well. If you go to the card also, you will get an option to format the data label and all conditionally. Here you see there's a small icon that when you go to the color section, here there's a conditional formatting. So you can format this section also on the basis of your requirement. Similarly, there is header section, category label, various other things which can be formatted depending on what condition you apply. Next is something with the drill up, drill down, and drill through. What are these three features? Drill up and drill down, we discussed, I introduced that topic when we were discussing metrics. This is the same matrix visual which is here. So what happens right now, if you see in this section, in the rows we have two levels of data. One is year, one is quarter. In columns we just have country. So when we have this sort of a data, these icons appear on the top. If I just delete quarter from here, you see these icons disappear, because right now you cannot drill further into the data. Whatever visual is created, it's just at year level and just as country level. We don't have any further drill down option. I'll click on the undo button, just undo the next step, last step, whatever was done. Quarter is back here and we have this icon. Now what happens is, we have the year data, but you can drill down or go to the next level of hierarchy. Just click on this. Now the data is on the quarter level. If you want to move up, and if you want to see year and quarter alongside, then we say expand and not next level of hierarchy. Expand means, okay, this is there, but it is expanded to the next level as well. And these options which are available from here on the top icons are also available on the row header. For example, you can click on this side and you can say expand. I want just the 1999 value to be expanded. I say selection. Here only 99 will be expanded. If I want to expand everything, then I will say all. So everything will be expanded. Similarly, I can drill up back from here. So depending on this is called drill up, drill down feature. Now, for example, I have just country here. I provide the next level of information, that is, for example, maybe product group. I bring it down below the country in the column section. Notice the change. Now users know, okay, there is a drill on option both on row and column, which means on the row section also we can drill down further, in the column section also we can do so. When I select drill on rows, these are the rows which is on the basis of year, and I expand, so the row section get expanded, nothing happens to the column section. If I want to expand on the column section, then I will select this, drill on columns, and then say expand. So under Canada, I have group A, group B, under Mexico, France, and so on. Because right now I'm asking Power BI to drill down on the column section. Similarly, whichever value is selected, for example, columns, and you drill up, so the drill up will occur only for the column. And as I showed you for rows, similarly for columns also, you can just click here and say show next level of data. This is how drill up and drill down works for matrix data. And it is again not just for matrix. For example, we have a chart here which is for Canada, France, Germany, and Mexico. And inside this chart, again, if I, instead of legend, if I had this product group in the axis only at the next level of data, so you see the icon come here also. In Canada, I want to see the next level of information. I can just say drill down, and it will show me group A and group B. Or again, similarly, I can say expand. So Canada, group A, group B, France, group A, group B, and so on. So it's not just you can expand in matrix, in chart also, depending on how you have grouped the information. And if you want first product group and then the country, so this is how first product group is there, and inside it the country data is there. So how you put the columns here or the values here will define the hierarchy, which is the top level and which is at the bottom of this. And this is not restricted to just 2 levels. You can have further level inside it. For example, here also we had year, quarter. If month was also important, we could have just have another level of data, that is month, inside it, and then we can go on drilling further as and when required. But this all drilling feature which I'm showing is restricted to a particular visual, and it's not interacting between multiple pages and so on. That feature is known as drill through, and it's not drill up, drill down. What happens in drill through, and again, this is a very useful feature, has been used in a lot of practical scenarios. What happens in drill through, basically when you are building up a report, for example, this report is there. On the first page, we want something, just a summary by, for example, let me create it. For example, this will be my summary page. Here I will just show by country some values. For example, this. There can be a huge list of values. So this is what is shown on the summary page, and maybe some other set of information summarized, like overall, okay, my company revenue and so on. But I will not show a lot of information on the summary page. From there, a detail page can also be defined. For example, this is a detail page. Here I have revenue by units, population, and for each country, the zip code wise break of the population. One second. Let me drag the same. Yeah. So for country, zip, and population, right now it's having the detail for all the countries. But what I want is this page will be specific for any particular country and not for all the countries, and that will be defined on the basis of what the user selects here. And we can also hide this page. Many cases what we do, we don't keep this page directly accessible to users, we hide this page. So right now it's Power BI desktop, so this page is visible. When we will publish it, this page will not be directly accessible. This page will only be accessible through the summary wherever we are having the country data. How do we define a link between the summary and detail page? So the detail page, here there's an option called drill through. Here we have to drag the field on the basis of which we will drill through to this page. So we want to drill through using the country value. Select the country, add to this section, the drill through filter. Now you get an option. And since we have only one page where it is drill through is applied, so we have only one page. Suppose you had multiple pages, maybe For country, we had one page having population detail, other page having revenue details, next page having some sales detail or some other thing, and we defined multiple pages specific to countries. Then what would happen? When we right click and say drill through, we'll get a list of those pages. When we drill through, for example, I'm selecting France and saying drill through detail. This entire page is just for France. We don't have any other data here. So this way we are passing the filter from the summary to the detail page. Let me save this report and show you how to publish it to cloud and the export options. Now the export options, you can export data from cloud also or from Power BI desktop. One of that is you go here, export data. As soon as you click that, it will say, okay, data.csv, it will download in CSV. Save it. But exporting to PowerPoint is there in cloud. So here I'll show you one export to PDF also. This will generate a PDF of the entire report. It will take some time because it's generating for different pages. As you see, the pages are getting moved on itself. It's on page 3 and then it's gone to summary and all. So now some issue with my system for PDF. Anyways, let us publish this to cloud. And okay, one more thing before I go to cloud is, for example, when you are seeing any particular visual and you want to see the data for that, you can also use the show data option. What this will do is open a data tray at the bottom and just display the data. It doesn't make much sense here, but in some of the charts where there are multiple categories and all, it becomes convenient, okay, to see the data, and then you can go back to the report. For publishing to cloud, once my report is saved, go to home, publish. It will take the sign in. If you are here, if you are not signed in with your Power BI account, it will ask you to sign in first. Then select a destination. My workspace is the default workspace that is provided to anyone who has a Power BI account. But in general, when we are working in organizations, business, Power BI, we have multiple workspaces split up. For example, you can have a dev environment, QA environment, and so on, or you can have different categories of users assigned to different workspaces and so on. So in that cases, what will happen, you will have the list of workspaces available here, maybe workspace 1, 2, 3, and so. Then what you will do, you will select the correct workspace. Right now I have just one option. I'll select on this and select. It's publishing here, and just to show you, this is the Power BI account. Right now we don't have the demo report at all. Data sets also, we don't have that report. Your data set is ready. It's saying that because it's here also success. You can click here also and directly it will open the Power BI page if you're not signed in and you're not opened that page in browser. But since that page is already open, I see in the dataset section we have demo 2. In the report also we have demo 2. Open the report. It's the same report, and since I have hidden the detail page, it's not visible. But if I drill through, that page will come up. And using this small icon, I can go back to the summary page. So publishing to cloud is not something that requires a lot of technical details or so. The only requirement, as I mentioned in one of the first session, is you need to have a Power BI account in app.powerbi.com, and that account can only be created with the organizational ID or educational mail ID. It is not permitted for Gmail, Yahoo, or such logins. So once you have that ID, you can go and start publishing a report, and it will be available in the section in your My Workspace. You will see that, and in datasets you will see those options. Now suppose I am there in this report, and then I can export data from here as well. Export data. Here we have an option summarized or underlying data. You can have this summarized data view, or you want the entire data, the underlying data, whatever has calculated this, you can view that as well. I'm saying summarized data right now, export the summarized data. If some filter was applied, it would have given the filters here. From here, if we go to file, then we have export to PDF. This is PBIX copy. If you have a report in cloud, you don't have a Power BI PBIX copy, you can download from here also and save it on your system, and you can modify from there further. For example, someone has shared with you a file in cloud, you can download the PBIX copy and you want to see, okay, how it was modeled, or you want to modify further, then you can use it. Even as I told you, Power BI desktop we use when we have to connect to data sets and do some data modeling features which are not easily available here, but I can edit the report if I want to do visual changes and everything. That is available in cloud as well. Go to edit report, and here I can change. Then I can change, suppose I want to just change the color of this one. Once it's done, save the report saved. Or if I want to save as, then save as. Now if I go to home and open this report again, it will show me the new color that I applied. So it's not that for any small level of changes you have to go to again desktop and modify that changes can be done here also. But if you are looking to modify any calculation and so on, even if you go to edit report, you will not be able to modify the calculations. Another option is like export to PowerPoint. This is useful when we have created a report for when we also create some report which are used by high level business management, and all some status report are there or some financial report are there, and PowerPoint is greatly used for meetings and all. In that cases, if a business has some report, what they can do is they can just take export in PowerPoint and use it for the meetings and all. What it will do is, as there are pages, similarly it will create the slides in PowerPoint, and it will be same as it is with a screenshot, basically a screenshot of all the pages. It will organize into slides and give you that, so you can use that PowerPoint directly. Here by default they give a link also for Power BI, when was the last data refreshed and so on. And as the report is there, similarly it will create the slides. Now I remember someone in the first session told that they were able to share the report without creating any any paid account or so on. So how that was done is, suppose this is the report I have. If I go to file, there's an option called publish to web. You see this comes up. From here we create an embed code. Now they are saying anyone on the internet will be able to access the report and data it contains. Because it's like of a security warning, and that is what I told. We generally, when we are working in project, we don't use this publish to web option at all. But since this is a sample data, I will just show you how it works. Otherwise, we always use the share option or the workspaces which are restricted to only particular set of users. Right now, I'll just create an embed code. Got this embed code, I'll copy it. And this is also used when you are creating a portal or a website, and a section of that you want to embed a particular Power BI report data. In that cases also you can create this HTML, you can paste in your blog or website, or this is the direct link that is there. Just copying it. Now, if I paste it here, it opens up this way. And this link can be shared anyway. I can just keep this link with myself. I can share it with anyone over mail, chat, or any of the sources. And what they have to do is they have to just go and paste it in the browser. They will have access to the report and the data. This is like sharing free of cost without any paid account. If you have a paid account, then you can use the option of share. Here we have the share icon. It will not work right now for me. it will say upgrade your account. But what happens is if you click on share, you will just have to enter the email ID of the persons you want to share, and they will get a link in their mail that okay, a report has been shared with you, and in this section they will be able to see the reports. Here you see shared with me. Here I will say right now no one has shared with me any report, so here also they'll be able to see. So that is how. And if you have workspaces, then you can directly publish to workspace, and any user who has access to that workspace will be able to view that report here. Now cloud does provide us multiple other options that are not in Power BI desktop. One option that you will clearly see when you come here is dashboard. What a dashboard is, basically what happens in report, we have multiple data sets or detail level of data, and you want to prepare a dashboard that is a combination of visuals from multiple report. For example, I can have reports split up by for countries or for different companies or for different customers and so on, but on the overall I can have a single dashboard that will take summarized information from multiple report. So I can directly create a dashboard from here, or I can go to the reports also, and I want this particular section to be in the dashboard. You see there's a pin icon. This says pin visual, and you want to pin to a dashboard, an existing dashboard or a new dashboard. I'll say I want to create a new dashboard, which is a demo dashboard. Pin this particular visual there. It will pin it up and it will say pin to dashboard. I'll open that dashboard. Here is this. I can resize it and so on. Similarly, this is a visual from one report. I can have multiple visuals from other reports added in a single dashboard, and I can go and edit the link for this one. Here it says go to report directly. I can edit here the details also, what should be the link, what should be the title and so on. Set custom link. By default it will go to the report, but I can set up a custom link also. I don't want this one to go to the report. I want it to link to some other page or other file or whatever it is. By default, if I'm clicking here, it will take me to the report. So this is how we design a dashboard. Here dashboard, we have multiple options, such as if you go to add tile, you can add an image here, a text box, even a video link, a web content link, and so on. And this is how you organize a dashboard. This dashboard cannot be created using Power BI desktop, because they believe that dashboard is a combination of multiple reports, and multiple reports have to be in a common place, and then you can link the visuals from those. With this, we come to an end of like most of the topics that were planned for this, not most, basically I would say all of the topics that were planned for this 5-day free session of Power BI has been covered. If someone has any question, I can take that up.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
And Ankita, I have one question
Yes.
regarding the daily tasks I did in office. Uh, well, what I need to, I am publishing a report on a daily basis for
Okay.
which I received a data on an email. So what I do is like, there are two pages. On the first page, there are some like pivot tables and calculations part. And on
Mm-hmm.
the second table, there is a data, which is actually source data. So
Mm-hmm.
what I need to do is on the daily basis, I have to replace the data. Hello.
Yes, yes, I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. I need to replace a data. Then I just need to refresh all the pivots and calculation automatically it
Uh-huh.
got. So is there any kind of similar thing I can do in the Power BI? Because I was trying to do it, but I'm not sure it can be done in.
See, it can be done. One is, suppose if you are using desktop only, okay, then obviously there's a manual option, like if anything has changed, just click this refresh icon, it will bring everything from the source. That is a manual process. Now you are talking about automated refreshes, which I can schedule. That is possible using a gateway. If your source is an online source, for example, I was taking a website data. If we go to here, my workspace data sets, This is the data. You see the refresh icon here. So this will refresh it. Right now it is failed due to gateway configuration issues because we need a gateway. What's a gateway? I'll just give you a brief idea since you have asked this question. It was not a part, but what is a gateway? This is on cloud and the data set is on premises. It can be a cloud SQL Server, Oracle database. It can be Excel sheet or whatever that is on premises. So there has to be a link between this cloud and the on-premises data source. So if you go to this section, you will have something to download a data gateway. You download that data gateway, and then when we come to this section, manage gateways, we will have the gateway listed here. Okay. And inside that gateway, we have to configure the path of this particular, not in fact the path they will take from the report itself, the credentials. And after we have configured that credentials, what happens is we can go to this data set section. We can just say schedule refresh, right? Okay, right now maybe it's not showing because there's no refresh data gateway available, but here we get an option of scheduling a refresh. There we can just define maybe since it's a pro account, if you have a premium account, it's allowed up to 48 times a day. That is every half an hour also you can refresh your data set. If you have a pro account, it's up to 8 refreshes a day. So you can just say, okay, I want it at 2 p.m, 4 p.m, 6 p.m, and so on, or maybe once a day, maybe once a week, and so on. You can just define the refresh frequency, and that will go on automatically refreshing your data. If you don't have a gateway, the connection between this desktop and the on premises will not occur. But if you have something like a website data only, now that is a cloud data source, or a SharePoint data, which is like again on cloud. So this kind of data, you don't even need a gateway. Then you can directly refresh it. And again, similar as we have in desktop, this icon, when we click, it's a manual refresh. And then otherwise we can have this schedule refresh. Here we have to define the gateway connection. We don't have a gateway right now. It's asking for install. We have to define the gateway connection. We have to define the timings of the schedule refresh. Everything is grayed out because the gateway is not installed. So here we can say daily and weekly options are there. We just define the time frequency, we define the gateway connection, and in the refresh history section we also see when and how it was successfully refreshed, or if it failed and when it was failed, and so on. So I hope I was able to give you some brief idea since it was not in the scope of the syllabus and all, so we don't have the gateway
No,
installation
no,
done right
no,
now.
no, I gotten some idea about it. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
no problem. Okay, any other question from anyone? Okay, in that case, all I would like to say is this was all that was covered in brief, and I understand some of the topics are taken in a bit summarized manner, and there are various other topics that are there in Power BI but were not covered as part of this particular 5-day session. But there is a lot more, such as, for example, the buttons or the bookmarks, how you use bookmarks, a very powerful feature, or this ask a question section is there. And then there is also like we can create our own group of data on own hierarchy of data from this section, and so on. So Edumanta team is also trying to plan an advanced Power BI course. Details will be available. You can contact the admin and they will provide you the details of that course if any one of you is interested in that. And then there are sections of, like I just showed you a glimpse of how to create dashboard and so on. So those even whatever conditional formatting and all was shown, that was, I understand it's a tool and it's not possible to cover every detail in a 5-day course. So there are various details within this conditional formatting and everything. So a lot more to cover, and those can be covered as part of an advanced course. So if any one of you is interested, please contact the admin team regarding it, and we'll be happy to hear your feedback as well. I think you may have received a Google form or some feedback form that they have already shared.
So would request your honest suggestions and feedback, good or bad, both, because it helps us improve and also keeps us motivated to take such more courses in future. So looking forward to hear from all of you. Okay, then let's wrap up the session. And I had a good 5-day course with you all. I hope you all got some insight into what Power BI is, and hope to see you again. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye.